Hi, and welcome to. My name is Carolyn, and I am the she who will be doing stuff. I have been living with anxiety for 5, 6, 7, I don't know, I've lost track how many years, as well as occasional bouts of depression. About a year and a half ago, I had this realization that because of these things, I had been missing out on a lot of my life. And it occurred to me, wouldn't it be fun to find some way to push myself to do new things or to try those things that scare me, maybe with some support and help. The thought is that I can create these videos that show me doing stuff, something that I wouldn't normally do, something that I have done but in a new way, and in that way encourage others to kind of face their fears or to make the attempt to take whatever small step you need to take in your life. So for this week, it's pretty simple. I made a couple of unicorn cakes, and me baking is not unusual, but what I did do that was different about this is that I borrowed, or used, I should say, recipes from Yolanda Gampp at how to cake it, and I followed Rosanna Pansino's directions on how to make and decorate the unicorn cake. They are both amazing bakers on YouTube, and I have never mashed up anything of theirs before. All of Yolanda's recipes that I used were brand new to me, and it was for my birthday, so I got the cake I wanted. Yay! But really, the point of this episode this week is me actually making the video. I didn't know that I would have the courage to do it, that I'd have the courage to start the channel. I'm hoping I will not back out before I actually post it. So, without further ado, cakes. Well, the first thing I learned is that it takes forever to set up for a video like this. I'm going to do 2 unicorn cakes. One is going to be pumpkin spice and one is going to be vanilla. It's almost 10 o'clock at night, but that's a great time to cook. I have to use my brain. It's really late at night to be using my brain. So I originally had all my ingredients set out, looking so lovely, and then I was thinking about it, and I realized that I have never seen in any other baking video what brand of ingredient they were using. And I thought, that's fine, I'll just show mine anyway. And then, of course, the paranoid part of me kicked in and was like, wait, maybe you're not allowed. Maybe they're going to come after me. I really don't want anyone to come after me. So now I'm hiding all my ingredients, more or less. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Oh, except I put that right out there, didn't I? So much for that goal. This love, Indian fire. Oh, and other powdery substances. At this point, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned that this is not all going to fit in this bowl, and kind of wishing I'd taken the time to track down my largest bowl. Yeah. That one's the eject button. again, Yolanda's recipe. I'm sure it will be absolutely amazing. And now I just need to bake all these cakes, hopefully get to bed before midnight, and decorate bright and early tomorrow. So it was neither bright nor early nor even the next day before I got to this, but I am going to show you how I put together the cakes. This is the vanilla cake. I just used a cake leveler to take off the hump, and then in order to get the nice 6-inch round shape, I'm going to go ahead and trim the cake around the shape of the 6-inch pan. I did cook one cake in the actual 6-inch round pan that I had, and that was the one that overflowed and burned all over the bottom of the oven. So I chose not to do that again and just to do it in some 7-inch square cake pans. So I did the exact same thing with all 3 layers of the vanilla cake, and I saved the scraps because I'm going to make some cake pops later with those. The next step is to use simple syrup on the now carved cake layers. This is 3 of the vanilla layers and 1 of the pumpkin spice. Now this is something I learned from Yolanda at how to cake it. This is the first time I had done it, so I was actually very nervous that it was going to make my cakes really soggy, but it didn't. I mean, they tasted delicious, and the reason you do it is because you do spend so much time decorating them, the cakes can get a little dry. And if your cake is going to be beautiful, it's better for it to taste good as well. I was just using a pancake doser thing for pancake batter. Yolanda has a special tool she uses, which I just ordered, so I should have one of those soon. Now I'm just going to show you how I got ready to crumb coat the pumpkin spice. I did the exact same thing with the vanilla, so you really don't need to see it twice. I used a chocolate ganache, again Yolanda's recipe, to fill this cake, mostly because pumpkin and chocolate is pretty much a combination you can't go wrong with. Now the reason I chose to show you this cake is because this is the one that kind of fell apart. This middle layer was the round cake. It kind of overflowed, like I said, and then that meant it fell apart when it came out of the pan. So as you can see, I just used a little ganache to take the extra pieces and kind of coat them and stick them on the side so that they would meet out on the edges with the same size as the other 2 layers. The reason I put it in the middle was so that when I frosted it, there would be plenty of space for me to just squeeze some frosting in there and smooth it out real good. I'm using a cream cheese frosting to frost the cake, again, because it's pumpkin. My favorite cookies in the whole wide world are pumpkin chocolate chip cookies with cream cheese frosting, and since it was my birthday, I'm going to make the cake I want. Now the first layer of frosting is what's called a crumb coat, and basically what you're doing is putting down enough frosting that it holds all the crumbs to the cake. I know that before I learned about crumb coats, I was always making cakes that had crumbs in the frosting, and it drove me nuts. So this is a crumb coat. You cover it. As you can see, the chocolate ganache gets all mixed in there, and it doesn't even matter because when I'm done crumb coating it, it's going to go in the fridge and set up a little bit so that the next coat won't mix with the colors. Okay, so we're back to the vanilla cake, which I frosted with a basic chocolate frosting. And here's the 3 colors of frosting I made. Now that's an Italian meringue buttercream, which is also Yolanda's recipe. Loved it. It was so yummy. I did only make 3 colors, even though Rosanna made 4, mostly because I didn't have enough frosting to do 4 colors for each cake. I also fudged a little bit on the frosting tips, mostly because I didn't have all the frosting tips. Well, entirely because I didn't have all the frosting tips. But I feel like the ones that I used ended up looking really nice. You can see my husband come in behind me there. He is fulfilling his birthday promise that I would not have to clean any of the dishes from the mess that I made making my own cake. Because it's a dark brown color, obviously I didn't want to go with a lot of pastels. I chose some richer colors. The pinkish color is magenta gel, and the blue is just your regular blue gel. Now this color was supposed to be black. I didn't have enough black to actually make it black, so it's more of a grayish color. But it kind of worked out nicely as far as accenting all the little bits. Now, the important thing to remember with this is just to take your time, space your rosettes out nicely. I am not an expert at frosting stuff, and I just kind of went for it. And as you can see, the mane goes all the way down and around, and there's kind of a little bang in the front. Now, this is me working on the eyes. There's only a very short clip of me here working on the eyes using some It's just powdered sugar and water dyed black, which I really should have gone to the effort of making the full royal icing because it turned out that this was extremely runny and got everywhere. Still tasted good. But it did take me probably half an hour just to get the eyes done. And as you'll see when I turn the cake around, they're not that difficult. I made the ears and horn ahead of time out of fondant. Rosanna does a very good job of explaining how to do that, and I couldn't figure out how to explain it, so follow her link in the description if you want to see how to do that. So there you go. You just kind of shove the popsicle sticks in, and ta-da! It's a unicorn. Did the exact same thing with the white unicorn, and there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Yolanda Gampp from How to Cake It and Rosanna Pansino from Nerdy Nummies were my inspiration for everything in this video. I will put all of their links down below so you can go check them out, because if you haven't heard of them, you really should. As to the future of this channel, I have some ideas. I would love to hear your ideas. If you have an idea of something that I could do or something I could try, something you would like to see done that might be a little bit hard for someone with a generalized anxiety disorder, I would be more than happy to at least consider it and maybe put it on the list. Also, as part of the challenge to myself, since I started really dealing with the anxiety, I have not been able to participate in one of my favorite things, which is NaNoWriMo, also known as National Novel Writing Month. That is November. If you've never heard of it, I will be putting a link about that down below as well, so you can check it out. This time, I kind of want to be at the mercy of you guys and see who do you think I should put in it, or what kind of people, what kind of universes would you like to see? What are some situations that might be interesting, and see if I can handle it or if it's going to make me have a nervous breakdown. If you have suggestions for that, down in the comments, please only G or PG rated suggestions. I will not use anything beyond that. And as is traditional on YouTube, please subscribe or give me a thumbs up or give me a shout out if you also have anxiety, depression, some other mental illness that you're dealing with, or some struggle in your life that maybe taking baby steps is something that you really need to do. It really is my dream to build a community where people can be supportive of each other, no matter what the challenge is. For one person, it may just be getting up and getting dressed in the morning. For another person, it may be skydiving. And either way, we want to be supportive of that. Take a step forward this week, even if it's just rolling out of bed 5 minutes earlier or putting your outfit together the night before. Go out there and go out there or stay in there and stick with it. You can do it, even if it's just something small. And please join me next week.